So let me ask you a question. Does this sound familiar? The alarm goes off, and bam, you're immediately in a frantic race against the clock. You're reacting to emails, to notifications, to everyone else's demands. You're not really in control of your day, are you? Well, what if there was another way to start things?
All right, let's get into it. Today, we're going to break down the 5 a.m. Club. You've probably heard of it, right? It's this whole philosophy that has absolutely blown up. We're going to pull back the curtain, look at the core ideas, the incredible promises, but also the practical realities. Is it a habit worth building, or is it all just hype?
So this whole idea, which was really popularized by Robin Sharma, comes with a huge, and I mean huge, claim. It says that by starting your day with a very specific routine at 5 a.m., you can actually launch yourself into the top 5% of performers in, well, anything. The whole idea is to seize control of your day before the rest of the world even wakes up. And this right here, this is the mantra at the very heart of it all. It's super simple, right? The thinking is, if you can truly master that first hour, the rest of your day, and eventually your whole life, will rise to that same level. But here's the thing. This system is about way more than just cramming more work into your day. It's a much deeper approach designed to build up what Sharma calls your 4 interior empires. Think of it like 4 internal pillars: your mindset, which is your psychology; your heart set, your emotional life; your health set, your physical body; and your soul set, which is all about your spirituality and purpose. The whole morning routine is engineered to make each one of these stronger every single day. Okay, so you're probably asking, how does this actually work in practice? Well, the absolute cornerstone of the whole system is a framework called the Victory Hour. This is the very first 60 minutes of your day, from 5 a.m. to 6 a.m., and believe me, every single minute is accounted for. The formula itself is actually pretty straightforward. You just break that hour into 3 20-minute pockets. The first is to move, the second is to reflect, and you finish up with grow. So let's take a look at what you're actually supposed to do in each of those chunks. First up, move. For the first 20 minutes of your day, you're doing intense exercise. The key is to get your heart rate up and really break a sweat. Now, this is about so much more than just fitness. It's about the biology. You're lowering your stress hormone, cortisol, and you're releasing something amazing called BDNF. You can think of it as literally being like fertilizer for your brain. It helps you learn faster and repairs brain cells. Okay, after all that intense movement, from 5:20 to 5:40, you switch gears completely. This pocket is all about reflection. I mean, think about how noisy our lives are. This is your dedicated time for quiet. You could use it to meditate, journal, or just sit and plan out your day. It's about being intentional before the world starts screaming for your attention. And to round out the hour, the final 20 minutes are for growth. This is your time to invest directly in your own mind. Read a few pages of a book, listen to a podcast, study the work of people you admire. The idea is to make learning a consistent, non-negotiable part of your daily routine. Of course, I know what you're thinking. Waking up at 5 a.m. and doing all that sounds impossible. And you're right, it's really, really hard. The book tackles this head-on with a specific process for making any new habit stick. And the magic number? It says it takes about 66 days. This 66-day journey is broken down into 3 distinct phases. The first 22 days are called destruction. This part is tough because you're actively breaking old habits and your brain is fighting back. Then you hit installation, the messy middle where, honestly, you'll probably feel like quitting. But if you can just push through, you get to the final phase, integration. And that's where the habit finally starts to feel natural. And I think this quote just perfectly captures that whole emotional journey, doesn't it? It acknowledges that it's going to be a struggle, but it also promises that the reward on the other side is worth it. The difficulty is just part of the transformation. So what's the big reward for getting through all that? You hit what's called the automaticity point. This is where the habit becomes so ingrained in you that it feels easier to do it than to not do it. It just runs on autopilot, which frees up all your willpower for more important things during the day. Okay, so that's the powerful promise. It all sounds pretty incredible. But let's just hit pause for a second and bring in a serious dose of reality. Is this kind of elite routine really the right fit for absolutely everyone? Because when you look closer, for every single promise, there's a pretty big catch. Yeah, you get quiet, distraction-free time, but what if you're sacrificing your actual sleep to get it? You may get a psychological head start, but that feeling is totally gone by 2 p.m. if you're walking around like a zombie. And here's the big one. We're all wired differently. Not everyone is a biological morning person, and trying to fight your body's natural clock can do a lot more harm than good.
And this brings us to the single most important factor in this whole conversation: sleep. Let me be really clear about this. All of those amazing benefits of waking up early are completely wiped out if you're not consistently getting 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep every night. This part is absolutely non-negotiable.
So, the real lessons here are less about what time your alarm goes off and more about these fundamentals. The goal is to get enough sleep, which for most of us means going to bed earlier to build a stable rhythm. It's about listening to your own body. And maybe most importantly, remembering that the power is in the consistency of routine, not in the magic of the 5 a.m. hour itself.
Ultimately, this is what it all boils down to. The real magic isn't in the number 5 on your alarm clock. The real power comes from intentionally carving out a protected space in your day, whenever that might be for you, to just focus on your own well-being and your own growth without any distractions.
So I'll leave you with a question to think about. Let's forget 5 a.m. for just a minute. If you could design your own, personal, ideal first hour of the day, what would that look like? What would you do with 60 minutes that were 100% just for you?